Hey, how you doing? So I wanted to make a video about foods that I avoid or ingredients in food that I avoid. And I've been reading labels pretty thoroughly since about, I want to say the year 2007. So about 10 years I've been reading labels on food. And I don't always practice what I preach, but I try really hard to avoid certain things. And once in a while we'll make an exception. Once in a while I don't feel like saying no or saying no to my kids, and so we will try it once in a while, but it's not a common shopping habit or things like that. So I made a list of things that I want to show you that I avoid while shopping for groceries. And I wish there was like some Darth Vader type music like in the background, just to show you like that I feel like the reason why I avoid them is because of health concerns. And so I'm not going to be able to teach you in a short video everything that why I avoid all of these ingredients, but the FDA has approved all of these ingredients in our country, in the United States. Some places, like Europe or other places, they may have banned certain ones, and I think they're smart. But here in our country, all these products are deemed as appropriate to be in our foods. And so I just want to share with you some of the ones that I avoid. I've got, I don't know, looks like I've got about 10, so hopefully this video doesn't get too long. I'm going to go through it, and if anything sparks an interest in you, like maybe you notice that that ingredient is in your food and maybe you're trying to avoid it yourself, I encourage you to do a little research and don't just look up one source, because Wikipedia isn't always accurate. You could look up Dr. Axe or Mercola or the Mayo Clinic or dryourself.com or other places, and I'm not sponsored by anybody. This is just my personal research and my habits over the years as I have evolved with how I shop and what I believe in. And I'm not the healthiest person, but my health concerns have not come from these products because I've been avoiding them for a very long time. And so you're welcome to come on here and challenge what I say. I know there is going to be arguments for and against each product, but for me personally, I've decided to stay away from them, and I just want to share them with you in case you think that maybe some of your health issues could be linked to any of these ingredients in some of your foods. So, not in any particular order of severity or experience that I have with these, but the first one is very common in our food. Now, canola oil is very high in omega-6, and we want omegas in our food, but we want more omega-3s and less omega-6 because we just don't get the omega-3s as often. And so a lot of people will have to supplement with them in like a liquid form or a capsule form, or just avoid canola oil because it has so much omega-6. It has been said to be linked to kidney and liver diseases, neurological issues, heart disease, hypertension, strokes, and it's also a growth inhibitor for children. It causes toxicity, that's hard to say, and has been said to be linked to cancer. So I avoid canola oil at all costs. I never buy a bottle of it, and if it says that it's in it in my food, or I mean in the food label, I try to avoid it as often as possible. The next one, saccharin or sodium saccharin. This one maybe not as severe, but I still avoid it. Severe allergic reactions, skin rashes, hives, and even diarrhea. So I have been avoiding that one basically my whole life. My dad taught me not to consume products with that in it, and I've just been avoiding it my whole life as often as I know how. Aspartame. This one has been claimed to cause or contribute to Alzheimer's, diabetes, Parkinson's, ADD, and birth defects. You'll find aspartame in a lot of chewing gum and soda. Here's a big one. One of the scariest ones. Dun, dun, dun. Bum, bum, bum. Exactly. So, high fructose corn syrup. Now, this is in so many foods. So many. But it's a sweetener. It is more addicting than sugar. It causes weight gain. It is toxic to the body. It causes heart disease. Has been linked to cancer. Has been said to cause cancer. It increases your bad cholesterol. It can cause diabetes, high blood pressure, and leaky gut syndrome. Now, nobody wants holes in their stomachs. No one wants holes in their gut. I don't. I don't want that. Maybe I have it, but I don't want it. PEG-40, also known as hydrogenated castor oil. This one got on my radar a couple months ago when I found a makeup product that I really loved. And I'm going to show you the product. I haven't thrown it away. It's called Beauty Balm, this BB, Perfecting Beauty Balm, Natural Tint, SPF 30, with resveratrol and Q10 by Andalou Naturals. And I loved how it went on my face when I tried the sample at the store. So I bought one, and then I was just kind of feeling like, oh, maybe I shouldn't open it because I needed to research a little bit about it. So I found a website that basically says that PEG-40, or hydrogenated castor oil, is produced by chemicals and by toxins. And it's used as an emulsifier, which means that it smooths on. It makes things very smooth. I haven't thrown it away because it's the only one I've ever bought like that. I'm going to use it for a while, but if I see any other studies that concern me, I'll throw it out. However, I do avoid PEG-40 and PEG-35 and other things like that. I avoid hydrogenated oils and try to avoid castor oil unless it's in its most pure form that I can get it. But I don't feel like, maybe just in that one tube, I don't feel like it's going to give me a whole bunch of toxicity. If I change my mind, I'll toss it. As we're talking about oil, partially hydrogenated oil. It is bad for heart health. So if you want a healthy heart, avoid this. And this is in a lot of food. It is in chips, crackers, all kinds of snacks. It's really in a lot of frozen things and a lot of convenience foods. It's high in trans fats. It lowers your good cholesterol and raises your bad cholesterol. So you want to stay away from partially hydrogenated oil. There are good oils to use and bad oils to use. The best oils are coconut oil, avocado oil, olive oil. I forgot some of the other ones. There was a list of like 10 to avoid and 6 to eat. So I'm not perfect with oil, but I definitely don't bring anything other than coconut oil, or sometimes I'll use grapeseed oil and avocado oil and olive oil into my home. This one, been pretty scary for a long time. Red food dye. So red number 40, also red number 3, yellow number 5, and yellow number 6. There are a number of artificial colors, food dyes that are known carcinogens. So I try to avoid any artificial colors. However, people could call me a hypocrite because I do buy certain things with artificial colors in them for eating, such as these brand new M&Ms, supposedly brand new. They're new to me. They have a number of things that I try to avoid in them. But my kids wanted to taste them, and I usually say no to M&Ms. I usually buy like a form of M&Ms that's called Sun Drops. I get them at the natural health food stores, the natural food stores. However, I wanted to try this, and I wanted to let my kids try it once, so I say no to them a lot, and once in a while I'll say, well, we will make an exception, but we won't make a habit out of buying this. Again, I could be called a hypocrite, but My kids seem to understand that, excuse me, that we don't make a habit out of eating these things. But in this alone, it has artificial flavor, corn syrup, hydrogenated palm kernel oil, Mono-and-Diglycerides, blue lake number 1, yellow 6, red 40, yellow 5, and blue 1. So it has a lot of things that I avoid in here. And I might decide before Christmas that I don't want to put this in my boy's stocking. I don't know. We shall see. So, some of the side effects are that this has been linked with cancer, gives people allergies, contributes to hyperactivity in children, promotes aggressiveness, and impairs learning. So that is just a few of the claims about food dye. I'm getting down to the last few on my list. I only have 4 more, so I'm going to try to finish this up. Aluminum, I can't find a whole lot on this right now in a shorter amount of time, but I've been avoiding aluminum in my deodorant my whole life. Basically, people have claimed, although the claims are also refuted, there's pros and yays and nays to it, is that it can contribute to or cause Alzheimer's disease. It plugs your sweat ducts for a time, which keeps you from smelling stinky. So if smelling stinky is a big problem for you and you know there of no other way than using antiperspirant, then you're going to have aluminum in your products. People have claimed that it could give you breast cancer as well, but I've seen those claims refuted. So I avoid using antiperspirant with deodorant in it. I will use like the kind with baking soda and other stuff in it. Now, mono-and-diglycerides mentioned in those M&Ms. These are loaded with trans fats, which are hazardous to your health. You find them in margarine and in bread, in pastries, and all kinds of things like that, especially in ice cream and in sweets. My skin breaks out if I eat food with mono and diglycerides in it. It's basically margarine to me, and I can't handle margarine. So my face will break out. It will itch like crazy. I will get rashes. This is an emulsifier, so it is another thing that smooths your product, makes it nice and smooth. And what's another word for smooth? Can't think of it right now. Here's another one I always avoid. I've been avoiding this since I was little. My dad taught me about it. MSG, or Monosodium Glutamate. There is a controversy on this. People have pronounced it safe. I avoid it personally. It's a flavor enhancer. You find it in a lot of salad dressings, in chicken, in a lot of meat, in a lot of Chinese food. It can be an endocrine disruptor. It can cause ulcers. It can cause Lou Gehrig's. That's the claim. It is a known carcinogen. People have claimed that as well. Causes cardiac problems, kills brain cells, contributes to Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's, and kidney problems. So I avoid MSG. Salad dressing with MSG in it is so much more affordable than salad dressing without, but I will go ahead and pay the higher prices to avoid MSG. Here's the last one I'm going to talk about tonight. Soy is so popular. It's high in protein, and it's going to be in all kinds of things like your shakes, your cereals, your breads, your pastries. It's going to be in so many things. But it can cause, in impure forms and in genetically modified forms, it can cause pancreatic disease. It can stunt your growth, and it can cause thyroid cancer. Constipation and bloating, that's what I have experienced. So I've been avoiding soy probably since the year 2001 or 2. Once in a while I might have something with a little soy in it. But if you're going to consume soy, it's best to consume it in whole foods, like edamame and things like that. So the more broken down it is, the more modified it is, obviously the worse it is for your health. But if you have it in moderation, it's probably not going to kill you. It also is best to avoid it when you have certain kinds of breast cancers. And I've read a few articles on claims that soy can feminize males, so it can raise their voice, stop erections, cause breasts to start forming, and things like that. So I don't know if those are true, but I just stay away from it. I don't feed it to my kids either. One of my friends makes a joke that he wants to make a t-shirt that says, "Yo, no soy." He knows what that means. I know what that means. But basically, he's just saying, I don't eat soy. So that's my list for today. It went longer than I had hoped, but hopefully if you have kind of been questioning some of the products that you buy or that you eat or cook, maybe you can do a little bit of research. I'm happy to answer questions if anyone asks them. And I just believe in eating more healthy foods and more whole, more pure foods as often as I possibly can. I do live in a city. I don't have a garden. I don't even own land, but if I did, I would hope to be able to grow some of my own foods. However, I would still want to buy certain things in boxes for convenience and packages, but I try to eat as healthy and pure as I can. However, sometimes I am a hypocrite, and I will buy things like M&Ms. Once in a while, I will not say no to the special kind of ice cream that my kids really want to taste. But I've noticed that we always come back to the ones that are more simple with a lot less ingredients. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again on another video. Bye, guys.